Hello, everybody. Hi, welcome to today's webinar. Thanks for waiting there. We're just getting a few things sorted out behind the scenes. Hi. My name is Matt Wiles. Welcome again today for Thursday, the 14th of May. Morning, Mark. Morning, Mary. Julie, hello. Andrew, Francois, hello. Peter, Calvin, Ben. Good to see everyone in the chat today. I'm just checking on my messaging system as well, make sure everyone's all set up here. So we should have a guest coming in today. This is why we're a little bit late to the party here. We should have Dan joining us. I'll introduce Dan properly in a minute. So just waiting for him to join if he can. Okay, so let's get on with it. What we're doing today is covering more in-depth help around Google Ads, Microsoft Ads, etc., and a few other tips and tricks. So I'm just going to wait on Dan. Give me 2 seconds. Dan's just joining. Here he is.
Can you hear me, Matt?
Hi, Dan. We can hear you now.
Hi, Matt. Hi, everyone. Good morning.
Good morning, Dan. Just your video, you might need to turn your camera icon on. There we go. Okay, brilliant. Thanks for joining us, Dan. And so I haven't introduced you properly, but this, everybody, is Daniel Lezcano. He is our head of Google Ads and Microsoft Ads here at Infoserve. And so we're very lucky to have him join our webinar today. Hi, Dan. How's things?
Hi. Well, glad to be here. It's great to be here as always. Very, very happy to be here.
A common question I get asked, Dan, is from a few people. Where's Dan from? Where's that accent from? Give us a background.
The Canary Islands, Gran Canaria.
Yeah. Good. So Dan's been working with us for a number of years now. How many years in total now, Dan? 4?
God, is it 5?
5, yeah.
5 years must be around that time.
Yeah. And before Dan joined Infoserve, he was working for a massive agency in Leeds. So he has a digital marketing agency. He's got a lot of experience. Myself and Dan are the two chaps that are lucky enough. We go down to the Google office and the Microsoft office on a regular basis. So we're very lucky and proud to work for such a big company. And we're the guys that managed to go down there for a nice free lunch at the Google office, right, Dan? It's good.
So it's great, yeah. In one of the restaurants in their offices, because they have many.
They do have many. They even have a gym, don't they, within the office?
Oh, yeah, they have everything down there, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm glad that Dan's been able to join us today, because Dan's one of those faces that, one of those people that you probably won't have met yet. He, like I say, it works sort of behind the scenes, really. He's in the back-end team at head office. Normally, you'd speak to an account manager or someone at the front end of the thing of the business, but Dan and his team manage all of the PPC campaigns, Google campaigns, Microsoft, etc. And so it's good to actually have him in the webinar, so I can introduce you to some of the people behind the scenes, the geniuses that make the magic happen. So thanks to Dan as well. We're also Google Premier Partner, Microsoft Elite Partner, we're a Facebook Partner. We're the only company in the UK to have all of those different things that you see on screen there. Yahoo Local as well. So we've got all those really cool partnerships. But today, it's all about acquiring more customers. I'm going to show you a few things that you can consider for your digital marketing. Today, though, what I want to focus on is it looks like we're kind of coming to the end of this unprecedented period of I don't know, the century, isn't it, really? And I suppose when we get to the end of May, most of us will be starting to get fully operational or partly operational again. What I'm sure many of you, and for anyone watching this back on recording, what many of you will be wanting to do is drive more new customers or attract new business. We all do, that's the bread and butter of any business. And yes, of course, many of you have fantastic word of mouth, great reputations, but not putting a little bit of investment into this kind of digital marketing really can affect, you know, a business in the long term, because unfortunately people, whilst have maybe used you for 20 years and recommended, you know, people move on, things change, and it's all about attracting new business, I think, and having, well, the right type of customer. That is, you know, you don't want to attract the wrong type of customer. I completely appreciate that. But it's attracting the right customer, and then that customer recommending you to their people they know, and so on and so on. And so we all want to attract more new customers. The fastest and most powerful way to do that is through Google and Microsoft Ads. That is the quickest way to do it. And I said on previous webinars, it is the most powerful and most cost-effective, lowest risk way of attracting new customers, even compared to SEO. So we've been talking a lot about SEO over the last couple of weeks. I would recommend Google Ads and Microsoft Ads over SEO. If you're wanting new customers, or you want to get found, or you want to just kickstart your business and grow it, then ads and an ads campaign will do that for you. SEO is far more difficult to attract new customers from, because it can take a lot of time to start ranking in the search results. So it can take a lot of time to get ranking. And the other thing with SEO is, you know, if I'm on Google and I'm searching for, let's say, solicitors in Leeds, well, look at the first results that come up. And if I was on a mobile phone, it's even harder to distinguish these ad results now. And those are the first results that I see on a mobile phone, on the desktop, and then SEO affects the results down here, which is the organic results. So that's what your SEO can impact and affect. But the problem with SEO, so if I go to a website, the problem with SEO is that you can really only optimize your business, your website, around maybe up to 5 keywords. You know, for example, the title tag on this website. If I go to the homepage, because that's the contact page, let me have a look at the homepage. The title tag is Irwin Mitchell Solicitors, Personal and Business Legal Services. And back on the page where I was, it has the location of Leeds in the title tag. Well, the only real number of keywords that they can work with here is solicitors, personal and business services. Maybe they've tried to get in commercial legal advice in there, but having all your keywords in the content doesn't necessarily mean you'll appear on the first page, because the title tag, the thing at the top of your website, the title tag and the heading is what defines your ranking more than anything. So the heading, the H1, for example, this, and the title tag are the two things. Now you can't put a load of keywords in there, and you've only got a certain amount of pages on your website. And that's why PPC, Google Ads and Microsoft Ads is so much more powerful, because, well, I'm going to show you why. Because when it comes to keywords, you can reach more customers, more people, and reach more people when it matters, as this little screenshot shows you. What does that mean, reach customers when it matters? Well, it means that we're all searching differently. I do a lot of searches on mobile phone, and I did a search the other day for local business, and then I looked and thought, oh, you know, the way I've done that is probably different to how my next door neighbor might search. I searched for the best, blah, 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 near me. So I was actually in my search going for the best, for example, solicitor near me. Now, someone else might just type legal advice, or someone else might put a spelling error. Now, all those different types of searches, that's how, when and how you need to be found. You need to be found for those different variations of searches. And that's where PPC, Google Ads and Microsoft Ads, that's where it gets you found. You can see from this screenshot, even in the last 12 months, Google has changed the way that they show ads. So back even just months ago, it used to have a yellow marker next to the ad. It doesn't even have that anymore. It just got a very discrete ad sign. But there's 4 ads that appear at the top on a desktop search, and 3 at the bottom. And there's 3 at the top on a mobile phone, and 3 at the bottom. So you usually have ads at the top of the search results and ads at the bottom of the search results. Why do they bother having ads at the bottom of the search results, you might be asking? Well, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where you are. It really doesn't. If you're running an ad campaign with Infoserve already, by the way, we're showing you how you can do some things yourself today. But if you are running an ad campaign with Infoserve already, that's probably a highly managed, complex ad campaign. But it doesn't matter where you are on Google or Microsoft at all. And if I got Google on the phone now or Microsoft, both of those guys would say the exact same thing. And clearly they want you to get traffic and for those ads to get clicked on, because that's at the end of the day, that's ultimately money in their pocket as well. But where you are on search engines for ads doesn't matter, because it's pay per click. And what you should be, all you should be interested in is how many phone calls or how many inquiries you're getting. Don't worry about the position. Don't worry about the ad. If someone's running it for you, you don't have to worry about all of that. All you need to focus on is the conversions, the inquiries, the phone calls. And a common thing that people do is focus too heavily on where my ad is. So they'll be on Google. Say I'm on Google now, and they'll be searching for their own ad. So they're running an ad campaign, and I'm searching for it, and I can't find it. Or maybe it's here at the bottom of the page. And the concern, if you didn't know otherwise, I would be the same. You get really concerned, you get worried and panicked. But that isn't a reflection of your ad campaign or how well set up your ad campaign is. The only reflection of how well an ad campaign is set up is through the conversions, the phone calls, and the actual, someone picking up a phone to call you. And just always track how many phone calls you're getting from these ads, because that's the only metric you should be interested in. Because sometimes your ad might be at the bottom. Sometimes your ad might be on page 2. So I'm on page 2 here, and I've gone to the bottom of the page. I've got a load of different ads. It could be on page 2. It might be at the bottom of page 1. It changes all the time. There's no guarantee for position. And actually, I would avoid position 1 and 2. And I'll be getting Dan's input in a moment, but I would actually avoid position 1. And actually, Dan, do you want to just touch on why position isn't good?
Well, you've put it really well in that what matters is results with PPC advertising, with Google Ads and Microsoft advertising. And what we try to do and what a campaign manager always tries to do and the platforms themselves is to spend the money and the budgeting in an efficient way. And so, like you say, if you can get that phone call or that booking or that sale on your website by ranking on position 4th or 5th, then you'll take it, and that's what we try to do. Being all the time or most of the time, or getting a click on first position means you may be paying an inflated price for that click when it wasn't necessary in the first place. You would have got the click anyway in 3rd, 4th position. Think about the user journey. People like you just been doing, and in the example that you are putting forward, you are searching for legal services, and nobody makes a decision on one search only. You're going to search and research, most importantly. And so by the time that you are ready to pick up a form and get a quote, say, you will have seen already those guys at the top, and you are skipping to the 3rd, 4th, 5th position to click and make that phone call. So no, it's not necessarily paying an inflated price for 1st or 2nd position when it's not necessary for results.
That's right. Absolutely. Basically, in a nutshell, the top position costs a lot more than 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, and the results are not that much better. So why bid? Why go for that top position? So great answer, Dan, and thanks for the that input there. But effectively, Google Ads and Microsoft Ads, you're in competition. You're in an auction, basically. You're bidding against other businesses. So all of these other ads here are all doing the same thing, and they're all paying cost per click. And so you're basically bidding against other businesses. So the position is never guaranteed. And there's a couple of factors that influence your position as well. So it isn't actually just about how much you're willing to pay per click. Because sometimes the more you pay per click, the higher you can be. But I'd be careful, like I say, to get too high, because that can just end up being a lower return on investment for you. But yeah, not only is it the more you pay, but it's actually how the quality of your ad and your landing page. So the position on Google and Microsoft also depends on the quality of everything. So your website, your landing page, and the ad itself, which I'm going to come to in a second. So yeah, again, it doesn't really matter where you are on Google, because it changes all the time, and it's pay-per-click anyway. So even if you're on page 2 for the day, let's say, yeah, maybe not a great day that is, but it's not going to cost you any more. It's not going to waste your budget, because if someone clicks on your ad at the bottom of page 1 or page 2, it's still relevant quality traffic. It's still someone's got intent to want to use your services. So even if you are at the bottom of page 1, you might get fewer clicks, but you still get quality clicks and quality traffic, if that makes sense. At least it's not wasting your budget. The other thing I just wanted to mention before we go on, the other quick thing is, if you do search for yourself, by the way, if you are running an ad campaign, Google and Microsoft will start to not even show your ad to you. Because the more you search for yourself, the more times you do it, the more Google and Microsoft think, well, these ads aren't relevant to this person, because they're not clicking on the ad. So ads will start not to show. They'll start to disappear because you're not clicking on them. The algorithms are really intelligent like that. So Google and Microsoft know when you're not interested in something, and they just won't show you that ad, or they'll push it down the page. So all of those times where you're thinking your ad is in the wrong place, well, it's just being pushed down and restricted by Google and Microsoft, because they think it's not relevant to you as a searcher, because to them you're just a consumer, a searcher. So that's why position is so the kind of the last thing you should worry about. Inquiries is the first thing you should worry about. Absolutely, inquiries. With Google Ads and Microsoft Ads, there's so many cool things that you can do. I don't know if everybody knows this, but you can target different areas like so. For example, you can target, if I look at the last image on the right-hand side, you can target 2 locations. So I could target London and Manchester and a radius around them. Or I could just focus in on my postcode in, say, for example, London, and or kind of an area, particularly in London, and literally the postcodes in and around that area, or the whole of the UK. There's all sorts of geographical tricks and things that you can do with PPC. That's why it's highly targeted. So, for example, we had a customer of ours, and I've shown you his website before. He's a painter and decorator. And he said, if it loads, let's have a look. There we go. I had to refresh. Okay, so there we go. This is his website. And he said, well, I want to get more new customers. And I said, well, what type of customers, first of all? And he was telling me domestic decorating is, that's most of what he does, is domestic work. Comes to our houses and does decorating and painting and decorating. And I said, what about commercial? And he said, well, I don't really do much commercial work. But when I do, it would be worth, up to £4,000 or £5,000. One job could be huge. For example, a year or so ago, he'd done a school, and that was worth an absolute fortune to him. And he really enjoyed the work as well. It's a really big job, and he really actually enjoyed doing it. So he said, well, yeah, I'd love to get more, commercial jobs. And so, well, that's where the story comes in. I said, well, at Google Ads and Microsoft, we can do that. But let's focus on certain locations, because this guy is based in a small village north of Leeds, kind of not so much the affluent areas, the nicest way to put it. And on the other side of Leeds, you've got Harrogate. And I don't know if many of you have heard of that location. Or we've got a place called Wetherby, and we've got Ilkley. I saw Ilkley was in the Daily Mail yesterday, actually, with people walking on the moors. But these are very affluent areas. But some of the areas that he's near, where he actually lives and where his business is not so affluent. And what we did is we set up a campaign in those areas, in those actual affluent areas. And then we obviously have done landing pages. We've done all the relevant. And so he is then found under Harrogate and Ilkley, just those specific areas. And yes, he's had some really big inquiries coming and big jobs. I don't know if Dan, do you know about this one? I've heard that this guy's doing really well on the back of starting an ad campaign for commercial.
Yeah, and this is a very good example because all the SEO work, like you've just shown with the specific location pages, has been done. But then obviously you're launching a new service, and it's very difficult to cover SEO wise all locations. And when you want to launch a new service, you just want to be ready as soon as possible and get new clients. And with Google Ads and Microsoft Advertising, you can have that next day, and next day you can get the phones ringing and have your ads serving on the results page. Plus everything that you mentioned before, again, that even if you were to rank high on organic, then for any search where there is a commercial intent, there's going to be advertisers on top of the organic results, and it's very difficult these days even to be seen in organic results. 50% of the top of the page, 50% of the real estate is busy with ads, basically.
Yeah, and that's where the clicks, that's where people go, that's where the traffic is. Absolutely. You can even see this stuff on things like heat maps, Google research there. Here's an old one, but here we go. If you just have a look, that's where people click on the search results. Back in the day, they had ads on the right-hand side as well, but those no longer, Google don't do ads on the right-hand side anymore, so it's just the top and the bottom of the page. But you can see, now I know there's a lot going to position 1 there, but it shows that it's going to position 1. But be rest assured, position 2 and 3 and 4 get a lot of traffic as well. So that's not by volume. That's just and actually, you might even find that position 1 gets a lot of wasted clicks, a lot of clicks that aren't necessarily ending up in business. But yeah, those top few results are the ones that get the most of the traffic. And that's where the ad results are on Google, right there. And so with that painter and decorator, a lot of SEO has been done, but that takes time. That takes months and months and months potentially to get found in the organic results. So with obviously PPC, you can do lots of cool things, and you can target, really be good with targeting locations, really precise. But another thing you can do is with your keywords, you can get found for as many keywords as you want, and all the different variations of that. And so that's why keyword selection is really important. And with the keyword planner, the Google keyword planner, for example, you can find new keywords, and you can find things that people are keywords that people have searched for on Google, and search volume of those keywords. So what we would always do is research keywords, and it is something you can do yourself. If I just quickly dive onto the Google keyword planner very, very quickly, I'm just going to load it up. I think Josh, by the way, everyone, I think Josh is in the chat. Let me just check if he is. So I'll make sure he's answering some of those questions, because he is kicking around somewhere today. So he'll be in the chat very shortly to answer your questions. I'm just going into the keyword planner. It takes a little bit of navigation to get in there, so I didn't really want to share my boring screen. Here we go. We're in. So basically, with the keyword planner, you can discover new keywords or get search volume and forecasts. This is my personal favorite, discover new keywords, because I'll just show you an example. The leather boots example, I did it the other day, but I'm just going to click get results. All I've done is type leather boots in, and what it does is it will then give you other keyword ideas. And it will show you how many people are searching for those keywords. So now it's given me other ideas for other keywords. And actually, let's say I didn't know about that one, and look at the volume of searches, for example. So this is how you can start to discover what should I get found for? What should I be getting found for? And it's even useful for SEO. It's not just useful for Google Ads. It's also useful for search engine optimization. Another thing you can do is on the discover new keywords, you can actually put your website URL into that. And we did this the other day, I remember, and it was quite interesting. I'm just going to put a URL for another one of our clients, Yorkshire Scapes. I'll give them a shout out. Amazing holiday cottages in Yorkshire. So I've typed in their website URL, and what it does, it tells me all of the different search keywords that I could consider that they've found on my website. So these are all the keywords that they found literally on the website. Now I can again filter that by average monthly searches. And now so if I was running a campaign for this holiday cottage company, I'd probably just be thinking of holiday cottages as being the kind of main keyword. But as I scroll down this, I see that there's another key phrase here: holiday cottage in Yorkshire with hot tub. So there's a lot of people looking for this particular key phrase on Google in a local area as well. So 2,500 people in 30 days. And so there's a great example of how I've discovered a new keyword, and that's what I should throw into my campaign as well. Dan, is there anything you wanted to add to the keyword planner and how it can be used to your advantage?
Well, two main ways, and you just pointed out to those. First, to discover new keywords. Sometimes we just go by intuitions. How would I search for this service? And you'd be surprised once you look at the data. Be surprised by how many different ways people would search for a service. So this is a great tool to discovering new search queries, new keywords, and then also looking at the average monthly searches and at the competition levels, which you have on the third column. So and potential, of course, cost per click. So this is something that we use on a daily basis to do some thorough research and to try and find the most cost-effective, relevant keywords for what we want to advertise. So yeah, a great tool.
And there we go. You can start to see some of the cost per click ranges. So it can be as low as 14 pence to 47 pence per click and so on. For immigration solicitors, London, it can be up to 15, 20, 25 pounds, believe it or not. So it really can range quite broadly depending on the industry that you're in. What I was going to say though, on the following what Dan's just saying, as you when you start a campaign, you want to get as many keywords in there as possible. You're basically throwing the net far and wide. So, for example, if I was looking for going to Scotland on holiday, and I know there's lots of beautiful places in Scotland. But I don't actually know off the top of my head the names of those places. I know kind of the west coast of Scotland is meant to be amazing. I need to go and drive up there someday. I'm going to do that soon. Given that we're in the north, we should be doing that more. But I want to go up to Scotland, okay? But I don't know where to go. My search starts with holidays in Scotland. And so what you've got to start to think about is how are people going to start their searches when they're looking for your type of business? And be open-minded about this. Be broad in terms of your thinking. How would someone start to discover my business? How could I get people to discover me? The people that weren't discovering me before. So, for example, if I was a holiday cottage somewhere in a town in Scotland, I don't know. Let's just go for Loch Ness, right? I wouldn't just get found for holiday cottages Loch Ness. I would also start my campaign with holidays in Scotland or accommodation in Scotland, because I know that people are starting that way. That's this kind of starting point. And so I'm doing that search. And okay, for this particular one, there's no ads now. It's probably because I'm not clicking on any of the ads. It's a good example. Ads don't show when you repeatedly don't click on the ads. And I've probably done that search before. But yeah, this is an example. Holidays in Scotland. Okay, here's an ad here. I'm not going to click on it because it will cost them money. But I'm looking at that. I'm going to look at their business, their website. And I'm starting to learn about them. I'm going, wow, okay, I really like the look of them. Let's just go to one. For example, so I can show you an example. So let's say these were in the ad results, and and I've come through to this page. It's a bit more about Discover Scotland, but let's say they're showing their holiday accommodation, and I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, wow, it looks great. Whereabouts are they? And I see that they're in, like I say, well, I'm not going to try and pronounce that area, but I'm sure some of you can. But Loch Lomond, there we go. So let's just say they're in the Loch Lomond area. Okay, well that's interesting. I've learned that Loch Lomond. I've seen the pictures. It looks beautiful. I want to go there. I want to go to Loch Lomond. I want a holiday. So I'm going back to Google, and I'm now typing in holiday cottages Loch Lomond, because I've learned that holiday cottages are the way to go. Forget hotels. Okay, I didn't know where I wanted to stay or how I wanted to stay in Scotland. But by looking at that particular website example, this is just an example, but by looking at that, I now know that I kind of thinking holiday cottages, right? And I've discovered Loch Lomond. So that's my next search, holiday cottages Loch Lomond. And your ad should appear again. And that's how you capture them in the funnel. The discovery search is very broad and very wide. Please do consider that when a campaign is being set up. So that's how you narrow it down. And this is exactly what Google would teach you as well, or help you with. I can distinctly remember Google, the guy at Google, the head of training at Google, and he was from Belgium. And he was the guy that opened my mind to this maybe 5-6 years ago. Because 5 or 6 years ago, I was just thinking, just create a campaign under holiday cottages Loch Lomond. That should be okay. But he was saying, no, you know, people just start their searches very differently to that. They don't know what they want. And your ads and your ad results are almost educating those people. You're going to get found under that broad search. You're going to show them a page that shows you're beautiful, you know, or whatever it is, your business. And then they're going to kind of narrow down to that. So that's just a little tip. And what we do, and that's in the first month of running an ad campaign, we would get you found under all those different keyword variations. Over time, what we would do is look at which keyword is performing the best. So we would start to work out which is it that's starting to get more phone calls and inquiries. And then we would remove the keywords that aren't working very, very well for you. So we would remove keywords, and that's called keyword optimization. And so you run a campaign for 3 months. In the first 2 months, you are learning and looking at what keywords aren't working very well, and you start to remove those keywords. You will get traffic for irrelevant searches. You will be annoyed and frustrated that you're getting clicks for things that just aren't relevant to you in those first few months. That's absolutely normal, and you have to go through that pain to really refine because you were trying to refine the ad campaign. So after 2 months, you're starting to learn which keywords are working well and which ones aren't, and you're really refining that campaign. And in the 3rd and 4th month, that's when it starts to really ramp up in terms of the conversion rates. So we personally would always say 3 months minimum on a campaign. So I've just gone into the keyword planner there. I'm just going to go back to we'll be coming into those questions soon. I think Josh has been trying to get in.
I think Matt, when you consider that, there's some interesting questions, so we can answer a few. Leo, Gareth have some interesting questions. Carving as well, and those are related. So whenever you like, we can address those.
I mean, I'll pick up on one because we get this one asked a lot. Is how does Google and Microsoft manage the fact that your competitors could be clicking on your ads? Well, it's called click fraud, and they pick up on it very, very quickly. They've got technology now that we just have to trust the technology, and that tech knows when someone's clicked on it twice, 3 times, and it's the same IP. So they're tracking location and they're tracking that user, and it's called click fraud, and they'll start to eliminate those clicks from your budget, your spend, so you won't be charged for those clicks, basically. So it's very, very safe in that respect. But of course, there's always going to be 1 or 2 clicks. There's always going to be keywords that you get found for that are not relevant, and that's absolutely normal. What should be your focus is how many phone calls and how many inquiries are you getting. The detail, you know, you can have someone manage that for you and just leave that for them to manage. But the phone calls and inquiries are the most important thing for you. Does the position change for each viewer and his demographic? Yeah, absolutely. The position can change on Google and Microsoft depending on their intent and their history, et cetera, et cetera. So there's never ever a consistent position with search results, even organic search results. I had a lady on the phone the other day really upset about how her position organically had changed. She dropped off page 1 of Google, and I've been there for years and years. Why? And she was really upset, and I had to explain that, you know, I'm seeing a different result to her, but also you've got to come to everyone else is trying to do the same thing. So it's not guaranteed to be, you're never guaranteed to stay there. You've got to effectively do SEO forever. That's an ongoing thing. And Google Ads, it's an ongoing thing. Okay, so just one last question. Gareth says, how do you exclude areas on an ad campaign? That's a really good question. How do you exclude areas? And that's exactly what our painter and decorator, we run hundreds of campaigns, but that's one that I remember because he's local to us. He wanted to exclude some particular locations. Dan, how would you do that? How would you exclude?
It's very simple, and I think Gareth's question was connected to Leah's and Calvin's with the intention of excluding areas where his competitors are located to avoid fraudulent clicks. But like Matt has explained, the platform itself does that already. You don't need to worry about fraudulent clicks because those are identified automatically by the algorithms and discounted. They don't even show in your reports, and you're not going to be charged by those. Now, if there are many instances where you would like to exclude some areas, and that comes in two ways. You can definitely tell Google Ads and Microsoft Ads, please do not show my ads in these specific areas. And in the same way that you target some, you can exclude some others. But then there are very many different settings when it comes to geographic targeting. So sometimes you may want people who is in the area, but some other times people who has an interest in the area, people who travel around the area, and so on and so forth. It gets a bit more complex than that, but definitely, of course, you can exclude areas if you wish. Yeah.
Bill, yeah, spot on. And what we want to show you now is an example of how to write an ad or a good advert. And this, some of these practices apply to not just Google. You know, you could think about this when it comes to your Facebook ads or anything that you do really when you're wanting to create a promotion. But this is specifically on Google Ads here. Same usually applies with Microsoft Ads. So we'll just use Google as an example. Capital letters I've mentioned in previous webinars. Use capital letters at the start of each word. We know from research. I mean, we've been doing this years and years. And whilst it might not look very nice, I don't actually personally like the whole capital letters thing. But unfortunately, it gets more clicks. It gets more conversions ultimately. So you've got to go with what works, and we know exactly what works. And those capital letters and exclamation marks as well. So you don't see it here, but sometimes you might go contact us today, exclamation mark. That can work really well. That kind of strong call to action with an exclamation mark at the end. Make sure you've got your unique selling points in your ad as well. And so I'm going to come to it in a moment. There's something called ad extensions, and you have to use ad extensions in your ad. We'll show you why in a second. But in the ad extension, you can put USPs, unique selling points. So for example, here it says, no minimum capacity, luxury accommodation, not just, several days, not just for hours. There's various unique selling points in there. So I'm going to talk about ad extensions, but just take note of the as Google call the real estate. So the amount of space that this ad is taking up on screen. Just have a look at how much space that takes up on screen. Here's another good example and look at how much space it's taking up. You've also got reviews here. But on both of these ads, if you look at the bottom of the ad, the second line from the bottom, there's actually links to other parts of the website on this ad and on this ad as well. So it says Tanfield House, it says contact us on. So these are called site link extensions. And you can actually put links to other places on your website at the bottom of the ad. I'm going to come to those ad extensions in a moment. Here's a bad example of an ad with no use of ad extensions. So look at the difference in space. It's just one line. In fact, there's capitalization in wrong places and there's spelling errors. Yeah, so Manhattan has a small m, lowercase m. So really poor. And you can see the difference between, ignore the bad arrow there, actually. There's a good one and there's a bad, but you can see the difference in the real estate. I'm just using that phrase because Google uses it a lot. So the real estate is a lot more on those kind of ads. Going back to Google, sorry, there we go. Going back to Google, holiday cottages, Loch Lomond. I think that's a very popular search. These guys have done it well. They've got site links. Theirs are showing slightly differently, but these two links here go to other pages on their website. This is the main link. This will go to their main landing page for holiday cottages Loch Lomond. But here's some other pages, and this might be about dog friendly, and this one might be about other cottages, Sykes cottages. And then you've got, I would say, some poor ads here. Dan, do you want to just pick up just a mention about these ads here?
Well, like you mentioned, capitalization is something that I would point out immediately. There's a reason why we use title case, and there's two ways of going about it. You can capitalize every single word, or you can capitalize all words but prepositions usually. So that's okay as well. The reason why we capitalize words is because it makes it stand out and it makes it more visible and more readable. So yes, it's a standard to capitalize, to use title case, and then extensions. Of course, there's the top part there with extensions, and then the extensions, those include descriptions as well, while other ads have no extensions at all. And it's very important to make your ad stand out using the extensions to put your ad and make it bigger, occupying as much real estate, like you said, as possible. Because that will make it stand out, and people will click on your ad at a higher rate, which is very important.
That's right. Yeah. So these ads are better. They're making more use of the ad extensions, but remember those ads aren't very well written, and this one in particular is quite poor. And for example, if we took over that ad and Dan's team took over that, what they would do is rebuild all of those ads, and so he wouldn't. So what we would recommend is when you're creating an ad for a particular search. So let's say this is a category, holiday cottages Loch Lomond. Here's one ad here. We would recommend creating 3 or 4 ads for that one category, and you could then split test. And so we've mentioned about split testing, A/B testing. We've talked about all of that, but that's what we would do by default. We wouldn't just run one ad. So this is just one ad appearing for this particular category. They may have written more ads for this category, I don't know, but we would be testing 3 or 4 different ads with all the best practice, extensions, and then over a month or two, we'd start to know which ad's working the best, and that ad would start to get seen more. That ad would be the winning ad, basically. These guys I think it looks like the fact that the ad's not very well written in the first place. I can imagine they've just set up one ad for this one category. And like I say, that's really poor. If we were to take over this, and now actually if you guys were to create an ad for I think you would even do better now, but we would increase their conversion rates hugely. It would skyrocket, and they would get more clicks from the work that we would do. We would create new ads, split test those ads, and those conversion rates would shoot through the roof. So it just small things like that can make a huge difference. And that leads me to the whole ad extension thing. And we were saying that you should use extensions, and this is something that is done through the Google Ads interface. Now, if you're running a campaign with Infoserve, then this is all very useful because it's something that you can now check in on and talk about with your account manager, or make sure you've got on your campaign, or even just have a look at and maybe help us, with the wording. It's up to you. But if you haven't got a campaign with Infoserve, well, this is something you need to speak to. If you are running at PPC ads, speak to your account manager, whoever it is elsewhere, or get in touch with us, because ad extensions are really important when it comes to improving your click-through rate. And there are various different ad extensions. So, for example, you can have ads that have a call button, and you can click to call that particular business. Dan, what kind of business would find that useful? What kind of business would you do that with?
Well, the call extension is specifically, obviously, from taxi companies to locksmiths, but pretty much we found that one way or another, users like talking to somebody at the other end. The website is the means, and the ads is the means to get somebody on the phone to talk to you and to ask questions about your product and your services. And so call extension is standard, is very basic. And like you said, well, we add pretty much all extensions to our campaigns, but that one is a core, is a critical extension. And some people may choose to rather than visit the website, click on the ad directly and call your business. Some others will click through to your website and then make the phone call. But either way, it's very important to have the call extension added.
Absolutely. And then location extensions are really useful for local business. If you're a local business, it means that people can find directions to you straight from the ad. They can actually see where you are on your ad itself rather than having to click through. So a location extension really useful for local businesses. And of course, we've already looked at site link extensions. We've seen them in most of the ads, but those are links to other pages on your website. Really useful if you want to show other pages that are relevant. Now, none of these things are guaranteed to show all of the time. Google and Microsoft decide when and what to show. Unfortunately, we can only give them all of the information and set them all up and leave it to them to show what they want to show. So none of these things are guaranteed to show on your ad, but you must at least select them all and make use of as many as you can. Snippet extensions, again, it's unique selling points, or it's different services that you may offer. Use this space to we talked in one of the first webinars about what are your unique selling points, what makes you different to your competition. You have to try and find something, if you can, and really leverage on that, and that's where you can highlight that in your ad. The what we call snippet extensions. Right, we're going through quite a bit here today, but those were the ads, and those were the tips that we would go and say you have to try and implement on your ads. Keyword research, we talked about that. Please do consider that everybody searches differently now. Near me searches have increased by 900% in the last couple of years. So more people are searching for, plumbers near me, bed and breakfast near me, or dog grooming near me, whatever it may be. Near me searches have increased massively. And the only way to get found for those kind of searches really is Google Ads and Microsoft Ads. That's really the only way to do it, because those are the tools that Google Ads and Microsoft Ads, you can select keywords. So you can literally put near me in your keyword list. So that's the way to get found for that kind of variation. Think about everybody searches differently. When you're thinking about keywords, think about how I said I searched the best man holiday. That's the first result that comes up at the top there. The best that tickled me. The best plumber near me. The best. I'm going to go a bit further actually. The best emergency plumber near me. Let's say that's how I search, okay? Let's think of something completely different. Small wooden oak coffee table. I'm looking at my coffee table. Small wooden oak coffee table near me, or the cheapest oak wooden coffee. The longer the key phrase, what I'm getting at is the longer it is, the better it sometimes can be for you if you get found for these key phrases that are the long tail, what we call long tail. And the reason why it's good to be found for these kind of things is because the competition haven't thought of that. So your competition hasn't thought of getting found for these variations. They haven't had a Matt or a Dan educate them and tell them that they're missing out on a trick here. Forget plumber. don't even bother. So I can't even type. Don't even bother with plumber near me or plumbers. It's too competitive potentially, and it's going to cost you a lot of money. What I would focus on is some of the longer keyword phrases or more kind of niche or a specific service that you offer. So forget accountant, solicitor, plumber, electrician. What is the particular service that you offer? And that's maybe where we would recommend you focus. And here's a good example because first of all, not many people have considered that. The ads, I can see the ads are really poor straight away. If we created an ad for this particular key phrase, we would get all the clicks. We would get majority of that traffic and therefore the inquiries. So we could immediately beat the competition. But someone that's doing this kind of search, think about the intent that they have when they're doing that kind of search. So what did I search for the other day? Dan's typing's put me off. I'm only joking. What did I search for the other day, Dan? I was searching for a French sweatshirt. I think it was something like really long tail grey. You could, I don't know, any of these kind of things, but that's an example. Or like I said, small oak round coffee table. Yeah, I mean dining table would be even better, but there we go. Now if I was getting found for that kind of key phrase, the intent of that searcher is really they know exactly what they want. That's what I'm getting at. So someone that's searching longer tail, like they know exactly what they're looking for. If someone's searching for plumbers, solicitors, hotels, well, you're probably going to get some wasted traffic, if I'm honest with you. But if you're getting found for some of the other phrases that you've never thought of, some of these things people don't think of getting found for. The plumber example, I think I was searching for the cheapest and most highly rated X at one point recently. So, people are searching very differently, but the intent is very, very high. They know exactly what they want. Look, there's another example within the search results. So rather than getting found for dining table, really sort of think about how you can narrow that down. That's going back to that whole keyword research thing there. Okay, so let me just check in. Make sure everything's okay. Okay, good. Everything seems okay. Just checking in there, Dan, really quick. We've got a few minutes. What I want to do, though, is talk about how you can decrease costs and increase your return on investment. I mean, those kind of words surely must sound amazing to a business owner. But yes, you can. And it's through something called Quality Score. Now, on an ad campaign on Microsoft and Google, they give you quality scores. All right. And so, yes, as a business owner, you should only focus on conversions and inquiries. But if you want to go down a layer, still forget about position, look at quality score. Quality score is important. Google and Microsoft give a rating of quality based on the relevance of the keywords to the ads. So, for example, I've searched for round dining room table. The ad should say, get a round dining room table here, for example. A really relevant ad to the keyword search. Or also a relevant landing page, okay? So I am going to click on an ad. I knew it would happen today, but I do want to click on one of these ads. It's only going to cost them a few pence. I'd only do it this once. Small oak, round, I know exactly what I want. I want an oak. In fact, I'm going to go oak, round dining table. Let's see who's nailed this. Okay, I'm going to click on oak furniture, land, and the ad, sorry, bear in mind the ad said round dining table. It does have oak in it as well, so that's good. Go through to their landing page. Prices you wouldn't expect. Great. Let's have a look. Let's click off that. Great. Okay, I'm really pleased because that's exactly what I was looking for. It doesn't have oak in there, so there's a little bit of lacking on the relevancy sort of quality score there, but it does have round dining room tables and chairs, really clear in the headline, really clear headline describing exactly what's on page. And there we go. I've been taken through to the right landing page. So they've set up their ad campaign well. It's taking me through to a relevant landing page. Think about those times where you've done a search on Google or Bing, and you've clicked on something and it's gone through to the thing that you were looking for, the product or service just isn't on the page that you ended up on. How annoying is that? It's really frustrating, isn't it, when that happens? That's what Google and Microsoft score down. That's what really affects quality score. And obviously the ad relevancy as well. And so your position on page, or what they call the ad rank, is affected by your quality score, how quality your campaign is, and your cost, how much you're willing to pay per click. And so bear that in mind. You know, the more budget you put into these things, the more you get out of it. It really is your budget, and it's nothing to do with Infoserve or anyone, for example. It's your budget. The more you put in, the more you're showing on Google, and the more inquiries you get. It's as simple as that. But you can start small. You can start really small, in fact. So these things affect your position on page. Maximum and quality score. There was something else I was going to say about that, but I think make sure everything's relevant. Oh, I was going to say that the website plays a massive part in all of this. And whenever if we ever have seen a campaign not work as well as we'd hoped, this is a sort of two-way partnership. The website and the business itself plays a huge part in campaign performance. So your pricing might be higher than the competition. Your service, the customer service, might be lower than your competition. That affects campaign performance as well as all the work that goes into your ad. So it really is a kind of 50-50 thing. Is how well is this going to work depends on not just someone like us or you building the campaign. It depends on the business and the pricing of and how competitive you are and the service. But yeah, if you're watching this back, I'm leaving that on screen there. You can have a little. It's a little bit. You know, you don't need to worry about too much of this. It's just a little bit of jargon, technical stuff. But the higher the score, the better. Because the more relevant your ad is, the better, the well-written your ad is, the more clicks you'll get. And that means your quality score improves. A little bit techie and jargony there. And I'm just reassuring you that you don't really need to worry too much about that. All you need to worry about is making sure the ads are well written, like we talked about. They're relevant to the keywords that you're selecting, and the website is relevant to the keywords and the ads. So it's all relevant. It's like a journey. Keyword, ads, website. Keyword search, Google Pixel phone. The ad says Google Pixel. The website has the Google Pixel. Really good, relevant experience. Keyword search was Google Pixel, the ad, and then the website. Quality ads, relevant landing pages. And here's a really quick example of why quality score is so important. So stick with me. I've got something really big to tell you all at the end as well. So just in 2 minutes time, I've got something huge I want to let you into. But quality score, so important. Mario has a quality score of 7. Luigi, the green one, has a quality score of 4. But Luigi is willing to pay more for his cost per click, CPC. He's willing to pay more per click to appear higher on Google. He wants to appear higher, but his quality is lower than Mario. Sorry, Mario's quality score is high, but Mario isn't willing to pay more. Mario's position is position 1, and Luigi's is position 2. So because Mario's ad is more relevant and better quality, Mario gets the higher position thanks to that combination of quality score and the max and how much he's willing to pay. But you can see how important relevancy and quality it is to Google and Microsoft, who obviously want money. It's even more important than money. So they're saying, even if you give us more money, we won't put your ad higher. We are more interested in people having a good user experience on our search engines than taking a lot more of your money. So that's what they're saying. They want a good user experience. So setting up for success. We have, some of you might already have this, but we've launched a service that gets you found across Google and Bing. But what it does is it finds, with technology and Dan's team, it finds the best traffic, irrespective of the search engine. Because I said earlier that position doesn't matter. Position doesn't matter, but even search engine doesn't matter. If you're getting quality traffic, and phone calls, it doesn't matter if 80% of that's coming from Bing or 80% is coming from Google. If there was a way that you could automatically every single day in real time find the best traffic irrespective of the search engine, because sometimes Bing is better than Google for quality because there's fewer people but higher quality searches. So we have introduced a way and technology. It costs us a lot of money to run this technology and power all of this behind the scenes, and a lot of resource in Dan's team. But we call it search ads, and it gets you found where people are looking, but it also gets you found more where you're getting more of the phone calls and conversions. So it optimizes your campaign automatically in real time to get you more of those phone calls. Even if it's Bing or Google, it will just automatically find where to put your budget, and it'll put your budget accordingly. It's really cool and really interesting. Now, I've never really promoted our products heavily, and I don't want to do that. I said it, I find this a bit cringeworthy, but we've been given something from Google and Microsoft, and some of you might be interested in this. If you're really looking to launch your business, get your business to that next level, we've just been given something from the Google guys and Microsoft guys, and we're really pleased. We're one of the few in the UK that's got this support. So we've part of our small business support. They've given us some huge, massive vouchers. I cannot believe the value of these vouchers. So, for example, if you're new to PPC with us, if you spend $150, it's a monthly budget, you can stop it at any time. We'd always recommend 3 months though. But if you spend $150, you get £325 worth of vouchers. That's ad spend. So managed ad spend. So that's Google ads and Microsoft ads will manage that budget. It's worth £325 and it's completely free. So if you set up a campaign with us, we'll be able to unlock that 325. That's unbelievable, I think. But there's more. And I mentioned Aircon for All, who spend £900 a month. If you want to really, they get a £240,000 return every 12 months. If you want a return like that, well, if you want to up that budget, you can double the voucher by, you can see there, the spend. I know that might seem a lot to some of you, but there's many businesses that spend these kind of budgets, and the more you put in, the more you get out. But you can get £615 if you spend that much. And this is Google and Microsoft we've combined with them to do this. So this is just the rules, etc. If you are an existing customer of Infoserve and you want to spend that much, 1.6, you can have 415 just added. You've already had the voucher with us, probably. We've already given you a voucher in the first instance. You can have another voucher right now, and that is a massive boost to your business right now. So there's just a couple of examples. They have to be done by the end of May, though. Unfortunately, we've got this limited support with Google and Microsoft, so we have to get these set up by the end of May. It includes everything. It includes campaign setup, management, optimization, call tracking, call recording, conversion tracking, the whole thing. Dan and his team will set this up for you, and trust me, he is one of the best in the UK at doing this. I truly do think he's his team are the best. They won an award even in Europe. They came second in the whole of Europe, Middle East and Africa for campaign optimization with Google. Second. So we're really proud of what Dan and his team do for Infoserve. If you want to use advantage of that, please do reach out to us. Go to infoserve.com/support and just request a one-to-one. We'll help you out. Help you out with anything. You don't have to do anything with us. We're not saying you do. We're just saying putting the options out there if you are interested. But if you just want some help, reach out to us. If you want to get started with those vouchers, reach out to us right there, and we'd love to work with you and get started. I hope some of this has been useful. We really wanted to cover this today, and I really wanted to introduce Dan to you. Of course, there's more to go. We'll see you tomorrow at 11 a.m. But I'll just say to Dan first, I'll just come off this, see you tomorrow at 11 a.m. and I'll say, Dan, thank you so much for joining us. Any final words, any final comments you want to make?
No, thanks for having me. It's always great to be here, and that was a lot, and I think quite comprehensive, and I think a good overview of Google Ads and Microsoft advertising. The advantages definitely is definitely one of the most optimal ways of advertising, really, and the return on investment are great. So when it comes to digital marketing, is there's nothing as well targeted as PPC advertising, as we call it, Microsoft advertising and Google Ads. So yeah, if we are very happy to answer more questions. It's been quite lively, the chat. I've been answering some questions in private as well, but do not hesitate to reach out, and we're always happy to help and to answer any questions that you may have.
Yeah, absolutely. If you're an existing customer, do reach out to us. We can always help you more with anything. You know, we're here for you. It might be that we add on call tracking for you, call recording. We can do that completely for free if you're an existing customer. It costs us about £25 to set that up, I think, every time. But we'll just do it for you for free. If you haven't got call tracking, reach out to us and we'll set it up for you for free. If you need any help with SEO, we'll give you an SEO report for free. There's many things that you can take advantage of. But of course, there's many small businesses out there that do want to launch, you know, their business to the next level at the moment and really start to get new customers. Someone reached out to me yesterday and set a campaign up for 150 a month, and you know, it was great to speak to him. If you're watching, hi again, and we've set you up on a good campaign. Dan, here's the guy that's doing it for you. So yeah, reach out to us, infoserve.com /support. And Josh is frantically trying to get the past webinars up onto YouTube. We will send those YouTube links out to you. I promise. Thank you again. We'll see you tomorrow at 11 a.m. And thank you, Dan. Pleasure having you in, and we'll have you in very soon again. Thanks, everyone.
Pleasure.
Bye.